Crazed Convos. Crazed Convos.
Welcome to episode number 6. Shout out to Dino and Jonah, who is joining us for a very special episode recorded right on my birthday.
Happy birthday, Pablo. Woo,
Yo, happy
yeah.
birthday, bro.
Hey, thank you. Where the strippers at?
I don't know where the stripper's
question.
at, but I can do this.
Hey, yo.
Hell yeah.
I'm 1 year older. That is 1 year closer. Life is pain. Haha. So, welcome to the episode, Jonah. This is the first time being here. Jonah's a pretty funny guy. He's also a musician. He's got
Yeah.
songs. He can do a shout out where y'all can listen to it at the end of it.
First of
Yeah.
many celebrities.
Yeah, big celebrity.
Hell yeah, guys. It's great to be here. Like, honestly, I've been keeping up with you guys. You guys are hilarious, I gotta say. And going back to that one guy in India that's listening to you guys, congrats to you too. Shout out to you too, whoever listening around the world, because over here I'm listening 24/7. While I'm working, while I'm doing anything, you guys are just worth a listen no matter what.
Thank you.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, Yona. I be at work listening to your work as well. Fuck 'em, we gon' slide. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Why can't you reach me? I'm not that high. You know what I mean?
so you listening to my work while I'm listening to your work.
We work 69 and
Yeah, your work 69ing. I gotta say, my favorite by Jonah has to be By the Hand. That's just a dope song.
really good. Song.
Wow, thank you guys so much. It's been so many years, bro. I was a kid when I made that, but I don't want to put my whole plug in here. But Yona at Spotify, you guys probably won't find me. There's quite a few Yonas on Spotify, so I didn't expect all that. But
Yeah, let's talk about this. I know it wasn't a topic we had, but I'm so glad because we tried other names. We had like different names planned, but
Yeah, there was the other ones.
Unfiltered Friends
Unfiltered
and a
Friends.
couple other ones.
We had one called
And
Opinions Crossroad, but that was
that was a different
that was a
project.
train wreck.
Then Gamers Touch Grass and everything was taken. And I'm so glad we found Crazed Combos, which I thought was kind of clever. And then we go over there to look at the Gmail, the Twitter, and all these other things, and it was open. And I was like, man, we just lucked out with the name.
yeah, right. Crazed combos though. Hey, I like it though. I mean, it gets to the point. It's simple, but it's also I don't know. I feel like it's marketed towards the right people. So I think you guys got it right.
Yeah, we definitely got lucky with the name. We're very grateful for that. But yeah, so today for our first topic, I wanted to discuss, and this is because I remember Jonah used to be my roommate long ago, and I thought about this when I knew he was coming in. I remember at one point we were talking about conspiracy theories, and one of the ones we discussed at the time was how this guy tried to get Jonah to believe that the world was flat because
It's not.
he was like, yeah, like yeah. It was this guy that tried to convince Jonah that the world was flat. And I was like, okay, I don't know if he was just trying to fuck with Jonah or if he was like he actually believed it.
You think all the flat earthers
Yeah.
are just fucking with us?
No, but so I'm gonna say the guy that tried to convince you, if I remember right, it was Quincy, our last guest. That's why I wanted to bring this up.
Oh, Quincy! Wow, yeah, that brings back some memories. You're right.
Well, now that just proves it.
Yeah, so I was like, I think he's just trying to fuck with him because Quincy's pretty smart guy. He's pretty like scientific kind of guy, you know. So I was like, I don't think he actually believes it. I think he's just trying to fuck with him.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it is, I've known Quincy for a while, and look, shout out to Quincy. You know, Quincy's my guy. But
Nope, he's already had his
at the
episode.
time, I think we had a lot of different beliefs. And I think, look, it's important to remember. It's important to remember that beliefs change. You know, sometimes we believe things at one point, and then we change our beliefs at the next point. And I remember when we had this conversation, I didn't really realize how popular the flat Earth theory was. I remember thinking, going back to the flat Earth theory, that I was like, okay, people believe the Earth is flat, but well, that's just it, right? And then he gave me a whole documentary on YouTube, and it's like 2 hours long. And I'm thinking, I'm like, dude, I don't have time for this. I'm not gonna watch a 2 hour YouTube video. And sure enough, I watched it all the way in, and for about maybe a day or two, I actually think I'm like, you know what? What if? What I'm saying? What if? What if maybe I believe what I want to believe? What if I can just go on my own tangent and just defy the odds? And then I have this discussion with another guy over at work, and he completely tells me, you know what, dude, you're fucked. This whole idea, it makes no fucking sense. And I try to talk to him. I'm like, but what? But maybe what if? What if? And he's just like, no, no, no. Let's get real here. Let's go back to the Columbus days. And yeah, he gives me he brings me back to earth per se on the idea.
Yeah, and no hating anything. That's just one thing I remember that involved you and our last guest. But I remember one of the things like the flat earthers say was something like, okay, well, if the earth is rotating so fast and like gravity is pulling you down, well, like, why don't I move when I jump? Like, why do I land in the same spot? And I was just like, you ever throw something up in your car and like you're going fast and then it just falls back into your hand, it doesn't fly back? And he was like, oh, and that just made me feel so smart.
and like I'm also on the opinion of Yona. Like, I don't want to immediately dismiss stuff because I am a very ignorant man. So there's a huge possibility that like I don't know something. I'm open to the idea, but the flat Earth thing is definitely one of those that I'm just like, well, I mean, I've never been to space.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true. True.
I don't know. I don't because in the great words of Naruto Uzumaki, you can
yeah.
believe anything, and someday you might become Okage, or you might be right.
Okay, we're not gonna debate whether the earth is flat in this podcast. We are above that. But
Yeah,
is
Yeah,
there
we're,
any?
yeah,
Is there any?
love
Okay,
that.
okay. So the topic I wanted to bring up: is there any conspiracy theories that you guys know personally? Someone that actually like that believes that is crazy to you? Like it might not be crazy to other people, but they're like you're like I don't know how this guy can actually for a fact believe this is real. And I share mine first. So there's this guy who's like into a lot of conspiracy theories. I know him from work, and one
Oh
of the things that
Lord.
he told me that was so crazy, he was like, the hurricanes uh, are punishment for bringing the slaves here because they follow kind of the same route as the slave ships. The
but
slave, yeah, the ships that were bringing the slaves, it kind of follows it. If you look at the map, they kind of go like they kind of follow the same line. And I was like, you think that has anything to do with the wind currents, and those old ships kind of just following the wind currents? And he was like, nah, it's Mother Africa sending punishment for taking the slaves. And I was like, wait, were they hurricanes? What before people started bringing the slaves? Like, did they start right after? And he was like, yeah, they started. I was like, okay, I cannot believe this guy's saying this, and it was just so crazy to me. Do you guys know anybody like that?
hold on. Don't just immediately dismiss that. Now that I'm thinking about it, I've never seen a hurricane. They might not even be real.
You literally have seen hurricanes.
Nope. We
We
live
just
in the
had a
air. We
couple
live
of
in we live in an
storms.
area where we don't see the hurricane. We just see the water.
We literally
No,
have seen hurricanes go through here before.
All I'm saying is, let's not dismiss this immediately. First of all, that is not the direction I thought you were going with that. I thought he was gonna say the earthquake, hurricanes are like a government made thing, but no, this goes even deeper. You're telling me that we're bringing hurricanes over on ships?
No, no, no. That the ships and the brother slaves and the hurricanes cannot travel across the same way
But now you got me
because you.
fucked up. They do
Be,
travel both on the water though, so you might be onto something.
okay, yeah, yeah. Well, okay, well, what about you, Jonah? Do you have any? Have you met anybody that actually believes like this conspiracy theory that to you is just like insane, but they really believe in it?
yeah, no. You might understand, like you were relaying back to people that you work with, and like how people at work come up with crazy theories, like you were saying. and I got the same effect. I deal with people on a daily basis that have all these kinds of different things, and sometimes I ask myself, I'm like, did you just come up with that? You know, did you just think about that just now? Because sometimes, like where I used to work at, there was there were drugs everywhere, man. You know, and no, I'm not knocking all the people that want to get the job done, but I guess to them, doing their drugs, like that's just how they get their job done. They just they use it like fuel, and I guess that's what fuels them. And I had one guy that was telling me the same thing. He was like, "Hey, bro, like for real, bro, like." I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. Like the moon ain't even fucking real, bro. The moon ain't real. It's just a fucking
The moon ain't
projection, bro.
real.
Hey, he said it's just a fucking projection, bro. Like it's just trying to convince me that the moon is there, but it ain't really there, bro. It's a fucking lie. And see,
What?
yeah, that's all they got. Like, and that's all it takes, I guess, for to be convinced. But going back to you, Davo, like you're the kind of person that'll question it, regardless of how dumb the idea is, or regardless of how dumb the person looks, you're gonna question them. But for me, I don't have that same behavior. I'll look at him. I'll be like, yeah, you know what, you're right. Yeah, I never thought about it like that.
You're like, yeah, the tides, the government just kind of like, either sucks in some of the water or adds some more. Like, that's how they cause it, bro. They're trying to lie to you.
Hey, I was about to
There's no
say, we're just
moon.
gonna dismiss it. I've never seen the moon in person.
You literally have seen the moon with your own eyes.
Not up close. It doesn't count. Not real. I'm like
It's my-
a baby
Okay.
when you cover your face in front of a baby and they just like, where'd he go?
Okay, we're literally about to start a Patreon so we can buy Dino a telescope so he can look at the moon up close, so he can finally believe that the moon is real. So please, guys,
More,
we're gonna open it up.
I need a
A telescope.
microscope, dude, so I can look at my cock.
All your Patreon money for this guy, so that they can both believe that the moon is there. And no matter if you can see it visually, because that's not enough, guys. We need to make sure that they believe through a telescope that it's there. That's what matters.
You know what? Yeah, we're gonna have a bigger goal. We're just gonna get like SpaceX to send them up there so they can see the moon and they can see that the Earth is round. Please, let's do this, guys. Let's make this a reality.
Guys, it's important. You guys, let's all go to the moon so that we can believe the Earth is round. Otherwise, it's not valid.
Yeah. Like, forget about all those starving children and like people with like diseases.
Yeah, no, fuck 'em.
We
Fuck 'em.
need to send Dino to the moon.
That's the project. That's what America needs to believe in.
I need the Hubble telescope to look at my cock.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that's my guy.
I got a theory,
Okay.
and this is one that people genuinely believe in, and I am just completely baffled by their reasoning, their logic. This goes beyond anything you would imagine. See, there's people where we work at that genuinely believe that we could run the plant more efficiently with less people and lower wages, and expect people to like keep working there and to keep this plant running. Can you believe that?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, that's literally what almost every business does. They try to run with the least amount of people.
That's fucking
and
crazy.
They try to maximize profit and minimize workforce.
And they genuinely believe it. Like, these
Capitalism.
people are actually fucking insane. The moon might not be real, but these fuckers are actually retarded.
Capitalism.
God, they piss me
Dino
off.
trying to get fired. Dino trying to get fired.
Fuck them.
Wow, that's interesting. That's interesting. Look, I believe power to the people, but sometimes you gotta remember, who am I fucking around with? Like, who am I really dealing with here? You're dealing with a bunch of people that really don't understand capitalism, and look, I get it, but everyone's gonna cast around their own theories, and at the end of the day, what matters is going back to the moon. You got to look up at the moon and realize what's more important, the moon or my own job and my own salary and my own children.
Yeah, I was about to say, no, I think this is way more important than the moon.
Yeah. We got to go back to what kind is are the aliens projecting the moon? Is that what like the old ancient people used to be able to see it, or like, or has the government been hiding technology from us to be able to project all the way to the moon? Like, we got to figure out how this moon projection thing even starts.
Oh, they got all the smart boards that they used to use in school, and just project the moon onto a giant smart board.
No, I actually here I got a question for you guys before we conclude with that theory. Is do you think the Aztecs were smarter than the average person that you guys are talking about? Because like, okay, like the Aztecs, they were like, you know what, the moon is the god, right? We gotta sacrifice to the sun god. But after the sun god ritual is over, let's all get fucking back to work. Do you guys agree with me on that?
Yeah, I don't think the average Aztec is smarter than the average
Fair.
human today. But I do believe that the internet connected people and everybody that used to kind of hold their opinions, because mainly if you wrote a book, you had to have some type of level of intellect to be able to get a book published. To write
Yeah.
in a newspaper, you needed a certain level of intellect. But now every should we say idiot uh, that has a
Yeah.
smartphone, like even in the internet era, right? Like to have an internet and like a desktop and pay for dial-up internet or anything, that still require some level of effort and
Yeah.
intellect to be able to use. Okay, because it was kind of a newer technology. But now every idiot and their cousin with just a smartphone, they can publish their thoughts and ideas for the world to see. And you used to think like you got to think this way, and this is gonna sound messed up. I hope it doesn't get me in trouble, but so somehow people that were like sociopaths, pedophiles, whatever, like serial killers, they used to be able to find people that were kind of like each other, right? Like there was like all these clubs about all these messed up people. Somehow they used to find each other before internet. So now imagine after
Yeah.
internet, all these idiots and all these despicable people, they just kind of get together and they're very loud. Like
They
they could be a very small minority, but they're so loud online. They have like multiple profiles. They comment on everything because I don't take time to comment on most things. Like I like it, I might give it a thumbs up if I really love it. Otherwise, I just move on with my day. I got things to do. But no, these idiots like would literally just go on a tangent. They'll publish, all these comments. They'll make extra accounts just to comment, and yeah, it's just ridiculous.
it's starting to sound a lot like us.
Yeah, kind of like us, but at least we're making a
Yeah.
podcast. We're
Podcast.
not comment trying to cancel people. Like imagine
Yeah.
trying to
No.
cancel somebody. Like I have a
No.
life to live.
Yeah. Yeah. No. If anything, I'm just canceling myself. But God forbid I try to cancel somebody else.
I
You know,
don't. I
if
think the cats. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say, imagine having like things to do in your life instead of like living your whole life online, caring about what like YouTubers do.
Or I mean, censorship and like all this PC stuff. I mean, it's a topic that's been like discussed over and over again, and like nothing is changing. It's ridiculous. Like I can say whatever I want. You have all these intrusive thoughts. You have all these. How do you say? It's like your inner voice. You're punished for just speaking the way you want to speak, and so now you got to keep
Yeah.
everything on the inside. There's tons of censorship, and it's like, are we just going to a world where, I mean, this is already happening in like England and like other places where you can actually go to jail for comments, for being quote unquote rude online.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No. Yeah.
I was gonna say. I mean, in America, we have this thing called freedom of speech, but yeah, I don't believe people should be going to prison or jail or anywhere being punished for saying mean things. Obviously, like a death threat. Like, see, here's the thing. Like, you should be protected to an extent, right? Like, if I make death threats against you, eventually you should be like harassment, be able to get some type of protection from me if I'm just like bothering you, harassment or something. Like those are laws that exist for a reason. But yeah, you shouldn't be like online bullying. Like yeah, I mean, what are we gonna do? Arrest everybody that said like "fuck you" or "you're ugly" online? Like, come on.
KYS.
Yeah. No. No. Arrest them. That's no. I'm not ugly. Nah. Arrest that motherfucker.
My mom says I'm handsome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my mom
My
said I'm
grandma said I'm
handsome.
handsome.
Beat his ass. Step on his neck.
Yeah. Beat that motherfucker's meat. Oh fuck.
Oh wait.
Yeah,
Grab his dick and twist it.
yeah. Yeah, I think people just need to stand up for each other. Like, I mean, you say something like about me, like, let's meet up, let's handle this like men,
Or not,
like back
not
in the
even
day.
that. Like, just don't take it serious. I mean, I get tons of like fat jokes. I do a lot of like self-deprecating jokes, but at the same time, it's like I use comedy. Like, I think it's funny. I use it as a crutch, which it's worked out so far. I don't need to go to BetterHelp unless they want to sponsor us or a therapist.
Yeah, no, oh fuck, yeah, we might have already fucked that up. Hey, look, BetterHelp, if you guys are looking to sponsor us, we'll completely 180 this. We're not
Oh
gonna,
hell yeah!
we're not gonna subject ourselves to this kind of behavior that we're trying to, that we're acting like. We are not that kind of person. And BetterHelp, if you guys need us a sponsor, we'll completely make a new recording and delete this like it never happened.
No, 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 no.
I will
I'll tell
take
you
the
what we'll
notes.
do.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what we do. If we get sponsored, like they can follow the process and like follow to see how we change and see if our lives actually get better.
Yeah, I was
Like, what
saying
better proof do they need?
we're gonna stream our private therapy sessions on Twitch.
No,
No,
hey,
no, no.
no,
Like, we're gonna share our progress, like episode by episode.
Yeah, but live
no, look,
streaming.
guys. Speaking of BetterHelp, I don't know if you guys have seen any of the advertisement, but like I said, we'll remove this BetterHelp, this recording whenever it comes around if we do get that sponsor. But the money better be good. I'm not gonna lie. But look, speaking of which, I saw an advertisement for BetterHelp, and there was one advertisement that kind of struck me off, and it was a girl that was like saying, before I used BetterHelp, I used to think it was everyone else's fault. Until after I used BetterHelp, then I realized it was my fault, and I thought,
What a
are you
dumb
fucking
bitch.
stupid?
Of course, it's your fault. You're a
Ah,
man.
What is your fault?
the consequences of my actions struck again.
Nah.
Oh,
Look,
God forbid you got to take some accountability for yourself.
see, I remember an old person told me once. They said, if you walk by somebody and it smells like shit, you got shit on your shoe. If ever you keep walking and anytime somebody, like, it smells like shit, no matter who's walking by. Oh, did I just fuck that up?
I think
I
you
think I
said it
just did.
backwards.
Yeah, I think yeah, yeah. So if you walk by somebody and it smells like shit, they got shit on their shoes.
Take
If
two.
you're walking and it smells like shit all the time when people are walking by, you got shit on your shoes. So
And it
like,
and
Wow.
if you unzip your pants and pull your pants down and it smells like shit, you shit yourself.
that's sexual harassment. What?
You shit yourself.
Huh?
That's not where I was. What the fuck?
Oh, who shit myself?
Yeah,
Who
I don't want to say you.
shit?
I don't.
Who shit my pants?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, but yeah, therapy is good. If anybody is thinking about it, go ahead and do it. I've
Nah.
never done it because I'm a man.
Nah. Yeah.
I'm a man's man.
Hell yeah.
I'm Mexican. We don't believe in depression.
I keep
We
it
just,
inside.
yeah, yeah. We just drink ourselves and beat our wives and are angry and scream at our children. Or at least that's some of the experiences I've heard from some of my friends. Thankfully, I've been blessed where my parents weren't like that. But yeah, we don't believe in therapy. I mean, therapy. Who wants good mental health when I can just drink and beat my wife?
When we're talking about censorship, is this gonna get people mad?
I hope not. It's a joke. Do we need to say /s every time we use sarcasm?
Nah.
Or are people smart enough to realize when it's not?
I don't know. I just think I think it just should be like a joke. I mean, like yeah, it's like why do you got to take everything so serious? Like why you got to be so like riled up about something that's literally either your fault. Like if you get mad because someone calls you fat, I mean, it's your
Or working
fault.
out.
Yeah, you're eating out like all the time. I don't work out. I eat whatever I want. Like I know why I'm fat.
Look, a lot of us ain't got the fortune to be fat. So if somebody was to call me fat, I'd be like, yeah, you know what? I'm happy. I'm glad I get to be fat.
The only thing fat about you is your cock.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. How would you know that? How would you know that?
Every
Dude?
guest that comes on has to pass the penis inspection. They have to do it. It's five.
I
It's a
passed it with
5 point.
flying colors.
He did. He really did. The shape, the girth, the color, the taste. It's the smell. It's all hundreds.
Did you guys at least say no homo first or after?
No,
I put it in the chat.
Oh, okay, okay.
I deleted it from the chat.
Oh no. Okay, so moving on to another topic. I don't even remember what we're talking about.
Censorship.
Theories. Yeah, we're
I-
talking
I-
about theories here.
Yeah, since Jonah's here, I thought about this would be pretty fun. Let's share a moment an embarrassing moment that still makes us cringe to this day?
I have way too many. I need therapy
Yeah,
for mine.
just pick one. It can be not safe for work. It can be about anything. Just something that you still think about every now and then, and every time you think about it, you're like, oh, you just cringe. So I'll go first, and mine I gotta say is pretty bad. It makes me cringe. So back in the day, when I was trying to hook up with this girl, and she was really pretty. You know, like I don't know why she liked me, but she was really nice, really pretty, and we ended up making plans to see each other. And you know, I was still pretty young, so we end up like, let's just say she was more experienced, and I kind of didn't know what I was doing. So I was like, you know, we're ready. I ended up like getting one of my older friends to like, okay, can I pay you this money to get this like motel room for us and give me the key and stuff? And he's like, yeah, sure. And she's like, wait, I thought we were just gonna mess around in the car or something. Like you actually got a room? And I was like, yeah, yeah. So we go, and I'm kind of like, I don't know what I'm doing, but you know, let me get her warmed up. So I was like, you know, can I go, you know, can I go down on you? And she's like, you actually want to go down on me? And I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm thinking like, okay, I need to, this is what they do in porn, right? Like, you know, they do oral before they move on to the next thing. So she's like, she just kind of looks at me like, oh yeah, sure, okay. So I kind of go in, right? And then she's like, oh, you know, she's making all those nice noises that, you know, you're doing something right. So this goes on for like minute and a half. And she's like into it. And she's like, oh yeah, and stuff. And I'm like, oh yep, that should be enough. All right. I stop and I'm like, okay, I'm ready. And then she's like, she just looks at me like, what the fuck? like she's just like, what? Like you done? And I was like, yeah, like you're wet now. Like we can move on. And she's like, she just looks at me like she can't believe it, and then she rolls her eyes like, all right. Oh, I cringe to this day. Like I was so stupid. I was oh.
You licked her outer major labia.
What was like a minute? Like 30 seconds?
No, it was like maybe 2 minutes max, but like she started getting into it. She was
You
like,
were
"Oh," and
licking.
that's how I knew. I was like, "Okay, yeah, now she's wet. Now we can do this."
Yeah, no, we got here. We finished it. The mission complete.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, "Yeah, yeah." Like she's ready.
You were licking the mons pubis or like the outer lips or something, and like the whole time.
I don't remember exactly what I was doing, but yeah, she started like responding positively. Like you know, she started getting into it, and as soon as she started doing that, I kind of just stopped, like cold turkey stopped. Like okay, now she's ready.
Damn.
Like she started moaning, she's getting into it. Like now
Damn.
she's wet, she's ready. And the look she gave me, I'll never forget it. But I was too stupid, and then kind of like it hit me like I don't know exactly when, but it was sometime later after we stopped seeing each other where I got with a different girl and I got more experience later, and then I was like, what the fuck did I do? Like I can't
Yeah.
believe I did that. It makes me
Yeah,
cringe to
you
this
woke up
day.
to it. You woke up like an epiphany. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And every time I've been with a different, like another girl after that, like I just think about that moment every single time. Like I just kind of like, yeah, you know, like let me get her warmed up. Like that's kind of how it works, right? And I'm telling you, when she was enjoying the moment, I just stopped like right in the middle of it, like, okay, done, let's go. Her look, man, it makes me cringe.
Hey, that moment, most of now, I bet you to this day, now that moment makes you feel like you got to take at least 2 hours now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel like nah, it's not over.
Hey, you
It's
got
not
to tell
over.
her, nah, don't even fucking interrupt me. I'm not done till we're
Yeah,
done.
don't interrupt me. No, no, we're not done yet. She's like, I need to go to work tomorrow. It's been 8 hours. I don't give a damn. Like we
Fuck, you
gonna
clocked in
keep
when you
going.
clocked in.
You just lick her like raw, like literally. There's like no sensation. It's just red, pulsing.
Yeah. So yeah, I want to hear something from you guys. Something that like makes you cringe to this day.
And that's enough for this episode. Just no, go ahead, Yona.
Oh, fuck, where do I have to fucking begin?
Oh, you want me to go?
Okay. If you want, I can go.
No, go
I can
ahead.
go.
Go ahead.
Around eighth grade or so, we were all grown up trying to figure out how to make ourselves a living in the world, or maybe that's a little too early, but around that time, I started to date somebody, and around it's funny because where we met was in ISS. It's usually in school suspension, which is probably the best romantic story out there, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, like definitely not the place where you want to, you find your true love,
Bonnie and Clyde
and
type shit.
Yeah, that's your type shit, huh? But anyway, I started to date her, except virtually, because like again, I couldn't even fucking see her. I couldn't drive. I couldn't do shit. Like I couldn't go to see her at all physically. So we would start talking, get on Facebook, and we would just start talking about, oh, what an amazing time it'll be to see each other, and the memories we'll make, and that let's go. Maybe one day we'll meet up at that lame ass park where there's nothing there but like swings and birds, and just go on and just reminiscing and just thinking about the future. But the thing about it was this woman was very let's just be honest, let's just say she was very jealous, extremely jealous. And uh, for a while, I went to Georgia, which is where I come from. I come from Georgia, North Georgia, and I went there for vacation for like maybe 1 or 2 months. And when I went over there, I was actually spending some time with my cousin, and we would bunk, and we'd just play video games and typical stuff. And this girl would just freak the fuck out over anything. I mean, like I'd leave the phone for 3 minutes, and all of a sudden I get 20 plus messages about, oh, you're leaving me. Oh, I knew you didn't give a fuck about me. And as a dude, you just try to cope with it. You just think, oh, it's just one of the motion things, and you just try to get past it. But eventually it got so bad to the point where I really didn't care anymore. It's that point where you're like, yeah, I can't fix this. Something's not right with you, and you're gonna have to get what do they call it, re-educated, or you need to go through
Rehab.
yeah, rehab, but also sensitivity training. I'll call it sensitivity training. And eventually, she accused me of talking to another girl, right? And when I got on the phone, she completely blew up my phone. Like it's like a Samsung Note, it's like finna blow up, And
Let's have some note.
I open my phone and I see hundreds of messages. It's all, oh, I knew you would do this. Why did you do this to me? I have heart problems. I have this problem. I have, sometimes some females make up crazy diseases they have that you didn't even know about until now. And yeah, that's what she did. She threw all kinds of diseases that she had that she didn't even say that she had to begin with. And I'm like, come on, bro, what the fuck? You fucking lying. What the hell? So then she said, you know what, Yona? I'm done. I'm gonna kill myself. And I said, what?
That's
What
hot.
the fuck do you mean you're gonna kill yourself? And she's like, yes, I'm fucking done. I can't take it anymore. And I was like, hold on, calm down. You remember, you're young. I'm young. We have a whole life to live. This, we can work this out. It's not as bad as you think. I didn't even talk to this girl. And she's like, no. I could tell that you did. I knew you did. And she completely comes, so she continues to say, I'm done. I'm over this. I'm done. I'm gonna kill myself. And then 3 minutes pass, and she's like, Yona, I'm in the middle of the road now. Now, before I continue with the story, keep in mind, none of us had phone service, right? None of us had phone service. I didn't have phone service. She didn't have phone service. So then she gives me this fucking threat. She's like, I'm done, Yona. I'm gonna kill myself. I'm ready now. I'm in the middle of the road. And then I think for a couple of seconds. I just ponder the thought, and I say, hold up. How the fuck are you in the middle of the road when you don't even have phone service? And then yeah, that's pretty much where I fucking crack her case. She's like, no, I'm serious. I'm gonna do it. I'm like, no, you're fucking with me. You don't even have phone service. You're using Wi-Fi. How the fuck are you gonna get Wi-Fi from over there? And she's like, no, I'll do it, Yona. I'm gonna fucking do it. And I'm like, yeah, you're totally, go ahead and do it. And obviously, I know that I shouldn't motivate that kind of behavior, but once again, I can tell if you're active on Facebook, on Messenger, and you're gonna give me that threat, and you don't have any fucking phone service. What are you trying to threaten me with? There's nothing to throw at me. So at the end of the day, obviously nothing fucking happened, and that cringes me to this day, because how dare you try to give me some bullshit like that and don't even have any evidence to back it up. Anyway, yeah, that's my story, and sometimes I think about it, but yeah.
You're like, how dare you threaten to kill yourself when it's not believable?
Well, I mean, she had to let
You
you
don't
know.
have service.
Should he have service?
Well, like she had to get hit in a certain way where she lives a couple of minutes, so she can drag herself over to like where the Wi-Fi can connect again.
Yeah, no, yeah, where she goes to the hospital and she's like, "Oh, I'm in the hospital.
What's the
Nobody
Wi-Fi
bother me
password?
right now."
What's the Wi-Fi password?
Yeah, yeah. What's the Wi-Fi password? I need to tell Jonah that I actually went through with it.
Yeah, that's my story. I can't think of any more, but I still think about that one, man. I can't really, I don't really realize what it takes to come up with some shit like that, you know. So
What about you, Dino? You have a moment in your life that still makes you cringe to this day?
I was about to say, so the moments that make me cringe is a couple, but they're all roughly the same. It's basically the opposite side of where Yona is. So instead of being
oh
the
shit.
like, instead of being the person on the other line, I was the person telling them that I'm gonna like do something
What?
stupid. So yeah,
Dino, what the fuck?
well, I mean, it's not that extreme, but okay, I'll just explain it. With my first girlfriend, I was very jealous, insecure. She was not, and I would try to apologize after we have a big fight over my jealousy or my insecurities, and I would always do the stupidest shit. Like this will make me cringe to this day. Like one time, I remember we fought, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm a piece of trash. I'm a piece of trash," and so I got in my car, drove over to her house, I climbed into a trash bag, sat in the trunk of my car waiting for her to like come back from school, or she was out with her mom. So they both pull up and I'm in my car, on top of my car, just like sitting in a trash bag saying, I'm trash, I'm trash, I'm sorry. And she's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? My mom's here. Like,
Yeah, what a great impression to give the parents.
yeah, I was like, oh, like, and it makes me cringe. I mean, this is moments that make me cringe. And then as a,
Imagine her mom checks the bag before her, and you gotta explain to her, look, I need to tell her that I'm trash.
it was literally like that. I was like, oh hey, how you doing, Miss Blank? And then and then then my girlfriend at the time came up and like, dude, what the fuck?
Okay. So, did it work though?
Yeah, did it work?
I got my dick wet.
Hey,
But that's not. I mean, it's like I said, it's not really like. I mean, it's
So,
not.
so,
Huh?
so sympathy.
I I don't even know what to call it. It's just shit I guess I saw on like TV and movies, because I did another time because we had another argument. But the way I tried to apologize was I was walking out in the rain and I'm getting fucking drenched walking in, you know. And I was about to say that park that you mentioned where there's like shit all to do.
Yeah.
I walked around there on a rainy day, and I showed up at her house all drenched in sweat and shit. Like it was like I said, I was like, it's moments that make me cringe. Like I think it's shit that I see on TV, and I would just do it because I'm like, oh, that's what people do.
see, you weren't handsome enough. You ever seen the thing where it says, if you're handsome enough, you can stand outside of a woman's window playing music in the middle of the night and she'll think it's romantic. But if you're ugly and you do that, you get a restraining order.
Yeah, I didn't get a restraining order, but I was just sitting there like mocos all over my nose and mouth because it was cold. And she's like, I don't even think I have a shirt that would fit you. Like, I'm like, no, that's fine. I'm sorry. I just wanted to apologize and show you that
Dino,
I'm
hold on.
sorry.
Dino, I think you're handsome, and I can picture you. You're walking over to her car, and you have that "Baby Don't Hurt Me." Dun, 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 dun. You know what I'm saying? I see it. I think you would have pulled it off. Did it work?
I'm glad her grandma didn't see it because she was blind. Otherwise, I think she would have died of cringe too.
Oh yeah, that's the same grandma from episode number 2.
I've only had
Yeah.
two women in my life. Yep.
No.
Okay.
Wow.
I still cringe
Right.
at those moments.
I'm cringing for you, but yeah, I still cringe at that moment.
No, you were like Vegeta with his head up in the rain, right?
Yeah, except that well, I'm not muscly and like, you know, like serious. I was a little bitch crying.
But you still are a little bitch,
Thank you.
you know.
Some things
You're
never
welcome.
change.
Some things never change.
War never changed.
Okay, so for our next topic, I wanted to do something kind of that I just came up randomly with this idea of each of us making a crazy prediction for the future. It can be about anything. It can be about sports, like economics, future presidents or future, whatever, anything in the future. But make one crazy prediction that's very like, like people don't think will actually happen, that, you know, that like predicted now. And if we actually maybe get it right, we can always go back and be like, hey, I predicted this. no matter how the odds
Yeah,
are, how bad the odds are.
definitely.
Can I go first?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, here's mine. So my prediction that I think is most likely is that Taylor Swift is gonna break up with her boyfriend and make a fire CD, fire album.
That okay.
That's not a
That's
crazy
pretty obvious.
prediction.
No, 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 no,
That's
no, no,
pretty
no, no.
obvious, man.
You said you had to make one that you truly believe, right?
No, no. I say something crazy that we
No,
can
no, no.
go
I'm
back
about to
to
get
like.
there. I'm about to get
That's not
there.
crazy.
I'm about to get there. Just wait. So that was my prediction that is probably most definitely going to happen. And the crazy prediction is she actually found the man of her dreams and they end up together happily forever.
Yeah, yeah. That's never gonna happen.
That's the crazy one.
Whoa.
Okay, no, no. We're only doing crazy. We're not doing.
That is
something
crazy.
that-
That's absolute
No, no.
madness.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
pretty
No,
crazy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm saying the crazy one is good.
Oh,
But we're
I
not
thought you said the
yeah,
believable one.
no, no, no. We're only doing one crazy prediction that is very unlikely to happen, or even almost impossible to happen, or it just seems crazy. But like if we predict it, we can go back to the episode and say like, "Hey, I told you that we would meet aliens within 20 years or something."
Okay, then that's my
I got
crazy.
one.
My crazy one is that she lives happily ever after with this guy.
That one's crazy. That one's pretty crazy. I'll
Mhm.
take it. But
Thank
I
you.
got one. Okay. Look, this one is kind of crazy, not so crazy, but I know that I'm gonna call it. Whether it's already been made, I don't know because I haven't done my research. But I believe that there's gonna be a a cryptocurrency called Skibbity Coin.
What's the crazy part that it
Hey.
actually succeeds?
I'm pretty sure it's gonna succeed and it's gonna already be made if it hasn't already. But if it does, hey, future prediction right now, you guys. I'm not behind this project, but if there is a Skibbity Coin out there, I'm investing.
Yes,
Okay?
yes.
He's
That's
he's
just
gonna
it,
be
man.
like, yeah, he's gonna be like all these other influencers, like, oh yeah, guys, yeah, it's give it a coin. Like I'm investing, guys. You should buy it too. The moment the prices go up, he's gonna sell and make bank, and
Or
it's all
yeah,
gonna be
coin.
legal. It is all gonna be legal, like like
Yeah,
Logan Paul
this
and
is
all these other
actually
celebrities
Yeah,
that
no, it's gonna be
have
legitimate.
people.
Legitimate, absolutely.
this is gonna go into court case.
Yeah, yeah, we're definitely gonna get sued for this.
All right,
It's
what's
gonna be
yours?
it's gonna be backed by the Supreme Court and all the financial institutions, 100%. More valuable than the U.S. dollar and gold and silver.
All right,
Okay,
Pablo,
yeah, now that's a crazy prediction.
what's yours?
Definitely. Yeah, you never know, man. Skibbity told it.
Give it, yeah, yes, give it a do. Um, my crazy prediction for the future is that mm, I had a couple. I don't know which one to pick. That One Piece will end in the next 2 years.
Oh God.
The manga or the anime?
The manga.
I believe
We will finally reach the end of One Piece.
I believe the manga will probably finish. The anime is gonna take like 3 more years and like really, really try to stretch it out.
Wait. No, One Piece already ended. It was the friends we made along the way.
Okay, is that crazy enough, or do you want a crazier one?
All right, give me another one. How about that?
Yeah, one more.
Yeah, one more crazy one. Let me see. I believe that somebody will try to make like an AI clone, like that will kind of pass as human within the next 30 years or 20 years. Within the next 20 years, we'll have like, in Futurama, where like, like they have the sex dolls that like look really human, and people can actually like buy, and they prefer them over real humans. I believe within 20 years, somebody's gonna make that reality, where there's gonna be some type of sex doll where like lonely guys are gonna buy, and they're just gonna prefer them over women because they're gonna be like antisocial, and be like betas or whatever. And it's gonna be real enough where like through AI where you can converse with it, and like that's yeah, I believe that like there's gonna be some type of advanced sex doll within 20 years
Hey,
that is
Bob,
just
go ahead.
yeah, I just believe that like that Futurama thing where like they make the sex dolls where a lot of men start preferring the sex dolls over the actual women. I believe that's gonna happen like within the next 20 years.
Bro, I give it like 10.
No, I think that's gonna be probably the best the best kind of help that anybody could have. Imagine a school shooter that wants to shoot up a school, and then he buys one of those, and then all of a sudden that bitch calms him the fuck down, and he's just you know what? I was gonna shoot up this motherfucking school, but you calmed me down, bitch, and I'm so glad to have you in my life. I
Sometimes
think
Yeah.
that's the greatest contribution to human history.
sometimes you just need to like push your face in between Angela White's titties.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need to get your dick wet. That's what I'm saying. Like you're like, you know
Yeah.
what? This people are bullying me. Like all these girls said I'm ugly, and then you nut it, and then you're like, you know what? Life is pretty good. It reminds me of a story. I want to share a story with you guys, which is one of my favorite stories. I don't remember where I heard this or who told me this, but it was basically they knew this guy, and this guy kind of just wanted to off himself. He was just like, life is pain. Like everything goes bad for me. I have a dead end job. Like I don't have any family or friends that I'm really close to. Nobody cares about me. I try to come out, to my close friends, let them know I'm depressed and I need help, and they just kind of ignore me and laugh at me. So he's like, I'm gonna kill myself, but I'm not just gonna like shoot myself or something painful like that. He's like, you know what? I must use my life savings. I'm gonna go to Tijuana, Mexico, and I'm gonna OD. I'm gonna OD. I'm gonna go over there, have a party, and OD. So that was his plan, right? Which I'm like, you know what? This guy is pretty smart. If that's a good way to go out. If you're gonna go out that way. So he said
Yeah. Yeah.
Have fun.
yeah, so yeah. So he goes to Tijuana, uses his whatever little life savings that he has. He goes out there to like strip club, and I think in strip clubs in Tijuana, if I remember from the story, I never looked it up, but I believe a friend that used to live there told me it's true. You can go all the way with the stripper. So he said he shows up, he goes and he buys some cocaine or other type of drugs. He starts trying these drugs. He said he gets some strippers, and the strippers offer to go all the way with him, and he's like, hell yeah, starts giving out money. He ends up having like a threesome and does a bunch of coke and tries other drugs, and he's basically there for like a few days until he runs out of money. And then he said by the time he ran out of money, he was like, that was so fucking awesome. I gotta go back and work my ass off so I can come back and do it again. And then he just like, he just went back to his life. They started saving money, and then he just kept on living. And eventually things changed for him, and he ended up moving on from that. And actually, got a wife and family and kids and everything. But yeah, and I was like, you know
Yeah.
what? If you're depressed, you just might need to do that. You just might need to go on vacation, go crazy, do things you don't normally do. You might need to go get drunk and maybe hire a hooker or something. Not that I'm saying you should, but go. Yeah, yeah. I always thought if
Yeah.
I'm really depressed and the thought comes into my mind where I'm like, you know what, life is not worth living. I'm just gonna do what that guy did. I'm gonna go to like Vegas or somewhere, and I'm just gonna go and like party like there's no tomorrow, and see if I still want, if see if I feel better after.
He actually ODs and
Better
dies.
help. You better take some notes. Better help.
Pablo actually
Hey.
dies, like he actually ODs, like he succeeds in the mission.
No, yeah. That's that,
Yeah.
that Walter White camera panning out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's probably the one of the stories about failing a mission successfully. Like you failed in the best way possible. Like I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna OD, and you're like, you know what? Life is great. Got into a crazy threesome with two hot Mexican strippers. Life is great.
Hey Yona, just in case, you mind being the permanent second host if anything happens to Pablo?
Life is
Permanent
good right
second
now. Life is good right now. But yeah, we'll do a poll. Who would you guys rather replace me if I end up ODing? Would you prefer Quincy or would you prefer Jonah?
Whoever you vote for, we're gonna say a prayer on behalf of you. We're gonna say, let's all hope that we go out the same way you did.
I was about to say we'll wait. Don't worry, we'll wait. Go ahead.
How about we do this, Dino? They
Go
have to
ahead and
fight.
vote.
That was I was gonna say this earlier when we were talking about social media. I just remember. I want to put out there. You know how like all these people are like trying to cancel each other and they're like all this online bullying and stuff going on.
Yeah.
You know how we could end that? Let's make dueling legal again. Imagine somebody talk shit about you online and you're just like, hey, I challenge you to a duel legally.
Like
And-
Yu-Gi-Oh duel or like with a gun?
No, like we're gonna
we're
fight. It
legit.
doesn't have to be lethal. Yeah. I mean Yu-Gi-Oh, but it like whoever loses goes to the shadow realm. But it has to be some type of consequence. Like, okay, we're throwing hands, bro. Like, you want to fight? We're throwing hands, something like that. Like, okay,
Yeah.
like talk shit now, talk shit. Cause who was it that said that song which says social network and computers got these pussies walking around like they ain't losers.
That's what's his name? Industry baby. What the fuck is the gay guy?
You talking about
Little Nas X.
Lil Nas X. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a perfect example. Yep.
Yeah. I'm saying if we bring dueling back, okay, somebody's talking shit about you. Okay, like, all right, bro, pull up. Like, let's handle this.
Well,
And
is
somebody trying to cancel you, they're like, oh yeah, this guy is this guy is that. It's like, okay, bro, you show up and cancel me in real life. I show up. What's up?
I mean,
You
technically
know?
they have dueling. They just don't use proper dueling like rules. They just kind of shoot at each other.
No, but
No.
I'm saying somebody challenges you online. They're like, oh yeah, this guy is fat and he's a hater and he's transphobic or whatever. Like, you don't know me. Like like
Yeah.
pull up. Like,
Trans-
let's
No.
handle this. Let's
you
handle this like men.
you just said transmorphobic, like he's afraid of fucking the Decepticons.
Transformers, yeah. Are you
He's
not?
afraid of
Wait,
Optimus
are you
Prime.
not, bro? No. Optimus Prime is cool, but what was that other guy, the bad guy's name? I don't know, bro. I don't like him.
Starscream, Megatron.
Megatron.
All right,
No.
Yeah.
No. Imagine this shit. Imagine you got two people talking shit on Facebook, which is where the most brain rot shit kind of people are. And they're like talking shit to each other, like, "Hey, motherfucker, you ain't gonna do shit, bro. Like, I'll pull up to your hood. I don't give a fuck what happens, bro." And then the other motherfucker like, "Yeah, you about it, bro? For real? You about it? I pull up to my motherfucking hood, then, bro. On my mama, that's for sure. And that's on phone, then." And then imagine they gotta send a request to each other to duel. Hey, I'm gonna duel you though. Here you go. You have been requested to duel. And then you got to accept the terms and conditions on Facebook. And the terms are that Facebook isn't legally liable regardless of what happens. You have to put your location on to make sure that it was set in stone, that where you guys fought was in the proper place, and that Facebook isn't liable for any kind of injury or whatever. And that's it. Facebook is completely clean of their hands.
but
And
but hold up before we go.
wait.
Nah,
I was gonna say, if one guy pussy's out or doesn't show up, like, he's not allowed to talk shit. Like, there's something above his name, like pussy
Cancel.
doesn't show up for duels.
Yeah. Put him on his Facebook, like right next to like a banner, like a red banner saying, "Hey, this motherfucker a bitch," just to let you know.
Yeah. There's like an AI that's following him anytime he tries to talk shit. Like, the AI is like, bitch, you don't get to talk shit. You don't show up to
Yeah.
duel.
it's like a rating
Like, you know how they
system
have
out of
those ads
5.
for misinformation and shit. That's the same shit that's gonna come up on their profile.
Community
This guy isn't
notes.
talking facts.
The community notes.
Yeah.
I was about to say, by the way, Yona was doing an impression of two white guys arguing. Okay, I know what you were thinking, and that's not the case. They were both white.
Yeah. No, if you didn't think anything else, if you thought different, you're racist as fuck.
Honestly, you
Yeah,
should get
yeah.
canceled. We're
Like,
gonna
come
cancel
on.
you.
Yeah, whoever thought anything else should get canceled.
Yeah, and that's on phone then, because I'm white too.
I'm my mama.
I'm my mom. I'm my baby mama.
All right, Pablo. You want to pull out the Crazed combo cards?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. You
Nice.
read my mind, big sexy.
I had to read it because so you forget the name.
You remembered, huh?
Yes. Okay, so the card for this week is: which personal accomplishments are you most proud of and why?
There's not a lot.
So
Well,
say
you
again.
do have okay. So we have a group of cards that's like a game to get to know your partner better. Normally it's used romantically, but we're using to let the viewers get to know about us. So this week is: which personal accomplishment are you most proud of and why?
Oh, there's no love with us. We just fuck.
Yeah, it's pure pleasure.
It's no
Pure
romance.
pleasure. No romance.
Pure cardinal sin.
No kissing. No eye contact. Just pleasure.
All right, well, go ahead, Yona. Personal accomplishment.
Nah, hold on. Give me a couple seconds to think about this shit.
All right.
You guys
Okay,
put
okay.
me-
All right, fine.
Okay.
I'll go.
Go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna wait for you to say no. I'll go. Okay. So I think the greatest accomplishment I've ever had was making my dad cry.
What did you do?
Well, that will let me get to it.
Like, in a good way? Like, in a good
Did you
way?
say?
Like,
Did you
he's so
tell me
proud?
again?
No, I haven't. But so basically, my greatest accomplishment. One time I was not great at school. Like years like 1 through 11, I was just like dumb. I didn't really try. I didn't put any effort. For some reason, on my 12th year, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna change all that. So I did, and I joined like the beta club, which is what they had in our school. I joined I think that was just the beta club. But anyways, I got a certificate on the beta club. It was like a recognition night, and I got a little certificate. And I came home. My dad literally just got out his truck. He just finished working. He's all like covered in dirt and like tired. And I'm still like kind of dressed up nice, and I hand him the certificate that they gave me, and I wanted him to give the certificate to me because he couldn't be there, and I wanted him to be proud of me, and he genuinely was proud of me. Like he actually started crying. Like he was really like happy that I wanted him to give me the award because I felt like he's always busting his ass. He's always working hard for me, my family,
Hell
and
yeah.
huh?
I'm sorry. I said hell yeah.
And yeah, like he's always working. So I was like, I know you couldn't make it, but you can. Could you give me my award? And he actually started crying, and that I think was my greatest accomplishment. Ever since then, I've been nothing but a fucking disappointment. But yeah, go ahead.
Hell yeah.
Okay. No, that's good. That's good. You made your dad proud at least once. Did he say like I'm proud, or you just think you made him proud?
Yeah, it was hard to hear him through all the bitch tears. No, I'm joking. No, he was like he was like, I'm sorry I couldn't be there, but you're making me proud. And I was like, yeah, that's peak. That I peaked.
Peak anime.
Peak anime.
Wow. Oh, well, I got one for you guys. I'm ready to go now.
Okay.
Well, might seem unorthodox, but I made an accomplishment with my parents, and it was the first time I managed to disappoint my parents without them hurting me when I was a kid. It's ironic, really. Um, when I went to Kmart one time, you guys know Kmart. Kmart just whenever it was around, I'm not sure if all the Kmarts are closed now. I'm pretty sure they are, right?
I think so.
Yeah, they're all pretty much done. Well, whenever I went to a certain Kmart, uh, I went with my family, and when I went to that Kmart, at that time, even when Kmart was around, uh, it looked pretty bad. It didn't look like it was secure as far as cameras were. So me being young, I thought, well, maybe I can get away with this. And I had a little knack for stealing things at the time, and I would steal video games, obviously. And anyway, so I can't even fucking remember the game that I took, man. But anyway, I opened the case, put the CD in my shorts, all the way into my underwear, just in case if they fucking caught me, they're not gonna reach into my shit. You're gonna go on fucking jail. That's what's gonna happen. So, after I stole it, I walked out. I was like, okay, I've managed to pass the censors. They're not gonna catch me now. Then this motherfucker, tall 7-foot dude, comes around and he's like, hey man, you're gonna have to come with me. So I follow him. I'm like, oh shit, I'm in trouble now. So at the time, I looked way younger than I was. So I lied to him because he asked me how old I was. He's like, yo, how old are you? And I said, oh, I'm 14. He didn't even blink twice. He just believed me. So I go into this room full of TVs on the wall. I'm talking about 30 TVs. They're all like VHS style TVs, examining every angle of this shitty Kmart. And I'm like thinking, dude, you guys put so much money into this shit, but nobody comes in here to shop anymore. But anyway,
Right.
So he finally tells me, hey, take out what you got in your shorts. I'm like, oh, what you mean, bro? Chill out.
He's pulling his cock out.
Yeah, he's pulling it out. What am I? And then he's like, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. Take it out. And I was like, okay, can I at least turn around and take out what I have? He's like, all right. I turn around, I take out the game, and I lay it on the table. And then he turns around and he's like, yeah, look, we caught you on the camera. We're gonna call a police officer and we're gonna have to deal with you. And he's like, look, take a seat. I take a seat in this comfy ass chair, and I'm like, damn, I'm fucked. I really am fucked. Like, this is the first time I actually got caught. My life is over. I'm gonna have to do crack. It's all over.
It's all downhill.
So, yeah, it's all downhill from here. So then a cop shows up. They're talking it out. They don't even tell me shit. They're just talking, trying to make a big deal out of this shit. And then the guy's like, he looks at me over while talking to the police officer, and he's like, so do you think he learned his lesson? And the cop's like, yeah, I think he learned his lesson. And I'm like, oh shit. So it was just a lesson thing. I'm not really in trouble, right? Then they're like, yeah, okay, you can go now. I was like, okay, fuck, I'm good. I walk out. My parents were still shopping. And I just joined them, and I'm like, okay, I'm good. So I go home, and I'm like, that's it. It's over. It was just a little lesson. It was one of those fucking, Dragon Tales lessons and fucking, Clifford the Big Red Dog lessons. Like, okay, you just learned your lesson. Just get the fuck on with your life. So I finally get home, and a week passes, and there's a letter in the mail that they find, and they open the letter, and they call me to the living room, and they're like, Yona, I didn't know that you fucking stole from that Kmart. And I was like, what? What do you mean? And he's like, why would you take this? He's like, we could have bought it for you. And I'm like, oh man, I'm about to get my ass whooped. It's typical, right? I'm about to get my ass whooped. It's over. It's all over. And I just sit down in the chair, and they all sat down, and they just put their hands in their face together, my parents, and they just tell me, just go to your room, man. And I'm like, I'm kind of fucked up. I'm like, you're not gonna hit me, you're not gonna hurt me, you know. And then I go to my room, and then I'm like, damn, I really fucked up. They didn't even fucking hit me. Like, it's that bad. And from then on to this day, I never stole again because I was that disappointed in myself. They were that disappointed in me to where they didn't even lay hands on me, and I felt it. I was just fucked up, and that's literally what made me stop stealing. So
What? Hold on, wait.
consider that an accomplishment.
I was about to
That's
say, was the accomplishment the fact that you didn't get your ass whooped, or that you got away with it, kind of?
well, I mean, I didn't mean to get away with it, but the accomplishment was that like they managed to make me feel like a failure without actually hitting me or disciplining me at all, and that I consider that an accomplishment because believe me, I was a troubled kid when I was younger. It's like, come on, the fact that I would stop doing anything, it was because they didn't even hurt me, didn't even do nothing. They were just actually disappointed in me, and that's what made me like stop doing anything.
So your accomplishment is that you never stole again after that.
Yeah.
Yes, unorthodox. I felt like such a failure that I stopped stealing. Yeah.
Okay, cool. No. That's pretty good. What I consider one of my biggest accomplishments in life is it's kind of meaningless in the big picture of things, but to me, it was just something that I never been really great at English. Even though I love reading, I don't know, I always have a problem with grammar and stuff like that. And learning a second language at a later age, I think I didn't start learning English till I was like maybe 12. So I always had trouble in school in English class, and I remember we ended up going in this long vacation in the middle of the school year for some reason. And when I came back, I got way behind on work, and the teacher was like, "Look, I'm gonna give it straight to you. Like, when we were taking like a final test or whatever in high school, she's like, okay, if you don't get like 100 in this test, you're gonna fail the class and you're gonna have to repeat the grade." And I was like, "Oh,"
Damn.
and like apparently nobody had gotten 100 or anything like that, and it wasn't like I don't remember if it was like a state test. I had to get pretty high up there. I had to get like a 90 something to be able to pass, and it was like apparently a very difficult test. I remember I just studied my ass off for like a week because I was like, if I fail a year, I fail a year, but I don't want to fail a year. I want to stay behind. Like I just studied my ass off for like a week.
What did you put the Push It to the Limit song transition compilation?
You know it.
The
Yeah, yeah.
training montage.
Yeah,
The
so
training montage, really.
I'm not gonna lie, I honestly expected to fail because I was like, I had to get like a 98 or 99 to be able to pass, and like nobody had ever like gotten 100 on this test, according to her, and I had to get like super high grade to be and like I think my highest grade to that point was like an 87 or 90 something. Wasn't great, and I studied my ass off for like a whole week. I went in there. I took the test. The moment I take the test, I end up like just acing it. Like I end up getting like 100 or 99 or whatever I needed to pass, which was like super high. And yeah, it was like in the big picture, it didn't have a huge impact. I guess it did because I didn't feel great, but I was just very proud that I couldn't, ace that test. And she was like, "Wow, you actually did good." Like nobody had ever gotten this score. She was very strict teacher,
Cool.
and I think she was like one of those teachers that like ends up giving you way too much work. I remember she was like, "Oh, you have to like." part of the test was like you have to write like it was like a 2 day test. I don't remember exactly all the details, but I remember she was like, "Yeah, you're not gonna have time to do all this," so we had to write like 4 or 5 papers about like 4 or 5 small essays about like different topics she gave us. That was like one part of the test, and she ended up like being like, "Okay, since everybody's like behind and not able to like, it looks like none of you are gonna finish the 5 essays or whatever. You only need to do 4. Like, don't worry about the last one." And when she said that, I had just finished writing the last one.
I was about to say, yay, lowered
Damn.
expectations.
Yeah, so I was like, "Oh, dang, I just finished
Wow.
the last one." So I asked her, "Can I get extra credit since I actually finished the last one?" And she was like, "No." So, but I
Wow.
still managed without that extra credit to like ace that test, and somehow I did it. I don't know,
Wow.
like yeah, I just did it. I just put my mind to it, and it's like Dino says, like I feel like if, everybody's. I think as an adult, everybody thinks that like, oh, if I could go back to being a teenager, I would do things differently. Like I would try harder at school. I would do this and I would do that. Um, I was pretty decent at school. But like I said, I felt way behind being going on those long vacations in the middle of the year for whatever reason. We needed to go down to Mexico for a couple of weeks that time, and yeah, I just aced that, and I was like, man, imagine if I tried hard like the whole time, I could probably do like something great in my life. And then I was like, nope, let me go, try to chase some
Yeah.
girls.
Yeah.
Nice.
Imagine if you ace that. It's like, yeah, is this what being Asian feels like?
Yeah, yeah, I almost felt Asian, man. I was like, dang,
Then we
like,
wouldn't be here.
Incredible.
We wouldn't be
Yeah,
friends.
you wouldn't.
You'd be
Yeah.
accomplished and successful.
Wow,
yeah,
man.
yeah. If only, if only.
All right.
Hopefully the podcast takes off, so so I don't have to go to TJ and risk it all.
All right, guys. Well, I think that's a good place to cut it. Yona, I appreciate you being on. Always awesome to just talk to you, and check out Yona on Spotify. I would say it has a picture of you, but people don't know what you look like, so it's kind of pointless. But you can give him songs. He made drugs. By the hand.
I didn't make drugs, but I made the song.
The song
Yeah,
drugs,
yeah.
yeah, is by the hand. Photosynthesis
By the
changed me.
Hand by Yona, Drugs by Yona. You should find me there. I don't know, no, but regardless, guys, I'm incredibly grateful to have been with you guys here. I'm keeping up with you guys' podcast. Shout out to the Indian guy listening.
Shout out.
Who knows where you are, what you're doing, but I completely agree with you. This podcast is the place to go, and yeah, you guys are worth every listen. That's for damn sure.
Send us some street food.
Shout out to all our listeners as well, all the international ones. Shout out to our female listeners as well, because we don't have many of those. We love you guys, girls, gals.
Just keep your cooties to yourself.
Whatever you want to identify yourselves as.
Yeah, whatever you identify yourself as.
Keep your cuties, your cooties to yourself, please.
No.
Yeah. Please keep the cooties away. Come on, let's be professional.
All right, outro music.